Mr. Foxx, you've been involved with racial humor before it became fashionable. What was the reaction when you did it 20, 30 years ago?
Well, the reaction was sort of one of, ooh, don't do that, well, you can't do that kind of stuff here, and it's, you know, wherever I was appearing. And I got mixed reactions about it, you know, but it's just subjects, you know, just something to talk about, and it's timely, and I've always done it.
How has it changed over the years, the reaction to the people?
Well, it has changed quite a bit, you know, and with the, when Dick Gregory came to prominence, you know, and he was doing that type of stuff, a lot of people figured, you know, well, here's a guy that's doing something that's brand new, whereas for years, you know, I had been doing it myself, you know, was being in the right place at the right time, and it's just one of those things, you know. I talk about it because there are a lot of things to be said, and I say it in a helpful way, you know.
Well, do you find difficulty saying it during the area or during the years when we've had riots during those periods?
No, I don't find it difficult because the type of humor that I do about the races is sort of a kind of humor to get people to understand why certain things exist and how to overcome the thought of hate when it should be love for the country. You know, like I say in my act, our argument is not black and white, it's yellow. Because the Chinese come, they're going to want all of us, black, white, and anybody else that's here, you know, if they try or whatever, you know, you're going to all be involved in a successful thing against them, you know. I could be underneath, I don't know, but as far as on the surface, I feel in my heart is love for people, you know.
Do you think someone like Sammy Davis or Harry Belafonte go too far?
I don't think they go too far. If something has to be done, it's no different than any other revolution, I think. You know, everyone must get involved to correct some of the things that are really wrong, you know. And there are things that are wrong, you'd admit it. I do, because I see the truth, you know.
What do you...
Progress. The country must, you know, gather in all of its resources and try to, hey, bring something to everyone. You know, like I figure like on a Thursday night for a show like the show I was on, Soul Show, a show like that would give 22 million plus something to enjoy and can see. Why wait until I'm 75 years old to give me a break? I've been working 31 years as a comedian, and this is as far as I got, you know, to Atlanta, here to the Domino, you know. So it's not too encouraging, you know, but I still stick with it. I believe it's something will happen. Because I'm pretty hard-nosed about it, and I'm going to make it regardless, you know.
Well, since you are so dejected about your limits as to how far you have gone, why haven't you taken a more active role in the civil rights group?
Because they have people for that. I'm born for comedy, you know. That's my forte. I know what I'm set for. I'm a nightclub comedian. I'm not a television comedian, but I could make that transition very easily if given a role. Give me a script. Give me something that you don't expect that I would do on my own as a comic or my own material. I hear some of my own material on television, and they won't let me do it, but still another guy can go on the show and do it. You know, it's really funny, you know. And then they get the young black comics and they twist their minds, you know, and they talk about watermelon and rolling their eyes. It's just young Stephen Fetchits and Mantan Moreland's repeat, that's all. But I won't go that direction. I turned down 2 major roles in a Broadway show this year. 2 important roles in a Broadway show, 1 role in a movie that would have made a difference to me, but I just couldn't accept the part that they offered me, you know. It was really going back before Civil War days, you know, and shuffle and this here and that there. I talk bad enough already. I don't need to put it on film, you know. Not for money, you know. It's one of those things.
Tell me a little bit about your background that led into comedy.
Well, I was born.
Most people are.
Yeah, in St. Louis. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, December 9th, 1922. And it puts me around 45 years now, but next week I'll be 46. And I spent 31 years of my life in this business, so the amount of years that I spent in it, you can realize that I didn't have too much time for schooling because it was during Depression and we needed money. So I didn't have time to get a full education, but I read as much as I could since that I left school. And that's about where it's at. No education, but determination and a lot of self-teaching, you know, and I try to be a good human being and represent my people best I can, you know, gentleman, without the scholar. You know.
Would you recommend that others follow in your footsteps younger than you?
If a guy has a attitude to really stick with it, stick to itness, I think you call it, just stick with it, it could be successful. But it's much better now if you can find something else to do it. You know, get into electronics. There's a lot of youngsters. Everybody can't be a comedian. A certain amount of it has to be born into you, you know, and if you can find another way to make a living, I'd suggest it, because it's really rough, you know, and I know it's rough, because I go to Las Vegas, I see comedians that are making like 5, 6, 8 times more money than I'm making, and they couldn't hold a candle for me, and that's not egomania. This is just fact, because I'm, you know, intelligent enough to see that and know that I'm better, but it just doesn't happen that way, you know. I guess I don't know what I'd have to do to be great, you know, but I know I have records, and they have made a good living for me through the years. And so even if I don't get the recognition show-wise, I get the money, you know, from the records and stuff.
Okay. How many feet do we shoot on there?
What do you mean about this half? Oh, this is it.
Wait, shut it. Shut it.
Oh, I thought you were right.
No. Did anyone ever try and influence you to join the militant phase of the Negro Revolution?
Well, there have been 2 or 3 groups that have approached me, but I think one of the most prominent people that's ever, you know, talked to me about it was Brother Malcolm X.
Oh, can you slow it? Stop it. Did anyone ever try and convince you to join the militant phase of the Negro Revolution?
2 or 3 groups have approached me, but I think the most prominent person was Brother Malcolm X, who I was associated with for 15 years, you know, as 15, 20 years maybe as friends. We were friends in New York. We were kids together. Not kids, we were young men together, but it just wasn't my type of thing, you know. And I never did get involved because I'm a showman, like I said before. I'm in show business, and that's what my business is, show business. And I love it. And whatever I can do to help rather than hinder while I'm in a show business theme of my life, I'd rather do it that way, like I'm doing now. I say things when I perform that are helpful, you know.
How did Malcolm X try to convince you?
Just by trying to show me that this was the direction to head in, and I should be involved, and he was involved. We'd always been friends. Matter of fact, when we were young men, it was very hard to tell us apart. We were almost like identical people at that time. You know, we looked alike. Separation was in his book. The only way they could really tell us apart, they called him Detroit Red and called me Chicago Red. You know, but that was when you're young and with no future and nothing in view. So I went along with a few things, but now that I'm in the business like I am, you know, I'm semi-successful.
Same level as Nigger was?
Nigger, Negroes, all that, all the same put out.